Hi, everyone. Today is Wednesday, September 7th, 2022. I'm Crystal Dawn Hill, and I just had a major breakthrough that I'd like to share a little bit about. So, have you ever gotten to the point where you need to say things and get things out of your system, but there's really no one that you want to share with? So you just kind of think it through, or you write it down, or something like that. So I just went through that. Um, there have been two major things that I've been dealing with. Um, and I was trying to figure out a way to get it out of my system in a healthy, effective way, but not by talking about it with anyone. So every day when I get up, I write in my gratitude journal. And I like to keep that journal very positive and in a spirit of giving gratitude for everything that I have, my blessings, my gifts, my miracles, and everything positive that I feel that God bestows upon me. But I really needed to write some things down in not so positive of a spirit. So I also went to my journal where I kind of petitioned my angels and my guides for help and assistance and guidance. So when I was writing to address them, I felt a response inside, and it was simply, trust us. Well, what unfolded after that absolutely blew my mind. Number one, what I learned is when we call out to the divine, it too is sort of a reflection of ourself. Yes, we were made in the image of God, so that holds very true. But it's like they're actually a reflection of who we are inside. In other words, all we really know is ourselves. That's all we can truly, truly know 100% is who we are deep within. And we all project what we know about ourselves out into the world, and not just the material world, but also the celestial realm as well. And so after I heard them say, trust us, I knew that that was coming from somewhere inside myself, because it wasn't audible. It wasn't even a feeling or an emotion. It was just a message from so deep within myself that I had never really paid attention to that level of my consciousness before. So I reacted to it the same way I've been reacting to people when they say, we'll talk soon. It feels like an empty promise. And so when I started writing back, I was sharing my feelings about, that disgruntledness that I was feeling. And when I got that out of my system, there was something sweet and tender and amazing underneath. It was an awareness of something that I've not been able to access throughout my whole journey. For whatever reason, I couldn't even tell you the exact reason. But it's been there. And the reason that I know that it's been there is because I've been able to see it partially, but it's kind of eluded me as to what I'm seeing. So what that is that when I interact with different people in my physical world, I've noticed something, and I've been noticing this for years. It's like I'm a reflection to people that I interact with. But I don't feel like they're a reflection of me. If I get triggered, it confuses me because that's not who I am. Like, I know who I am. I know that I'm kind and gentle and compassionate and understanding and insightful. And I love that part of myself. I love being and expressing that part of myself. And so when I have behaviors that fall short of that, it confuses me because I know that isn't who I am. And for years, when I would react to people through my triggers, I would always question that when I would look back on it and say, why did I feel that? Why did I act that way? Why did I react in that way? It didn't feel like me. But I finally understand what it is. And I did figure this out a few years back when I started interacting with my catalyst. I saw him stand in my defense one day, and he precisely replicated the energy that I would feel inside of me when I would react to people. So back then I thought it was him, but when I met my divine masculine, I immediately knew that my catalyst was the one who was reflecting back to me all of the shadow things about myself that I wasn't ready to look at. And my divine masculine does that too, but he reflects back to me everything about myself, light and shadow, that I was ready to look at and face and deal with. Whereas my catalyst, I wasn't ready for all that. So, going back to how I noticed throughout the years that I seemed to be mirroring other people, but they weren't mirroring me, I knew they were mirroring something that was bringing up triggers within me. And so through my writing this morning, I discovered what that is, and it's my divine masculine. But it showed me something else too. And I almost felt like I was bantering with my guides, whether I should share this or not. And I decided I'm going to because it's too good not to. I don't feel terribly inhibited from sharing. So if people hear this and they don't understand it or they're not quite ready for it, then the information will be there down the road for when they are. So that's why I feel compelled to share it while it's fresh in my mind and I can articulate it, in an organic way in real time, so that the energy that's around this realization comes with it instead of later down the line when it's kind of diluted. So I would probably almost have to read back over my journal to remember the specific moment and part of the conversation with my guides that I was having when I came to this realization. And I'm not going to do that while I'm here on camera because of my vision. I have to really struggle to read and it takes me longer. So I'll just tell you what the realization was. All of my life, because I was raised by someone who was a narcissist, I learned very early on that everything that I was blamed for was the narcissist projecting onto me. I knew that. I don't know how I knew it. I don't know how I was able to recognize it so early in my life. It could have been my intuition. It could have been a presence that was with me that showed it to me. I don't know. All I know is I've understood this from a very early age, that it wasn't me. And so I think all of my life, I've always dealt with people from that mindset to where I almost go into a conversation knowing who I am and ready to defend myself, even if I didn't need to defend myself with that particular person. So as a result of this mindset, I've been able to be a mirror to other people. But when they would mirror me, it wasn't me, it was my divine masculine. And that's what I just figured out. And whenever I'm shown something intuitively, I always, I don't like to use buzzwords. I don't even like the word buzzword because it's a buzzword. But I'm going to use one just for the sake of this conversation. Because I'm a Capricorn, because I'm very left-brained in certain respects, I'm very logical and rational-minded. And I'm the type of person that needs to see concrete. I don't need concrete proof of things, but I need concrete evidence that's convincing for me to know that it's realistic and not abstract. So whenever I'm shown something, even if it's by my angels or guides, I still like to find evidence in the material world that corroborates what my guide showed me. And it's not because I don't believe that what they're showing me is accurate. It's because I don't implement it into the physical world unless there's something to support me that other people can see, if that makes sense. So once they showed me this, then I meditated a little bit to find something that would support it. And all I had to do was take a snapshot of my divine masculine in my mind. Because what he is the whole encompassing of all of that. So in addition to all of this, I was shown how to, and anybody that's already gone through this part of their journey They probably can listen to this and already know what I'm going to say. The next thing I was shown is how to correct this. So all I need to do is, when I go out into the world and interact with other people, what I need to do is keep in mind of where the triggers are coming from, of where the irritation and the dissatisfaction and the disappointment is all coming from. And every single drop of all of that is with him. But here's the really interesting thing. I couldn't have ever seen this without his presence in my life. I would have never seen it on my own. But when he and I interact, it's when it all comes back on me. It can't come through other people because they're not my exact energy frequency. They can't, there's no way that they could match it. The reason that I'm able to mirror them and be a reflection of them is to be the catalyst, like my catalyst was for me, to make me aware that I have a shadow side. That's why so many people get triggered by me. That's why so many people are uncomfortable interacting with me to any degree, because they immediately start, they might not realize it in their mind, but intuitively they feel their shadow seeping up to the surface, and they begin to notice it on an energetic level. If they're a little bit more advanced, then they're going to notice it on a more conscientious level. It might translate in their mind something like, I don't like this feeling. And you know, my divine masculine literally said those words to me one day when I maintained a boundary that made him uncomfortable. And it triggered him so bad that he started throwing up boundaries flippantly, just as a way of defending himself, because he was so afraid that I was gonna, that's the only part of me that there was this person that is defensive and maintaining boundaries, and it isn't at all. Not with him. I might project that energy to other people, but not with him. So I'm really, really, really pleased that I reached this breakthrough. I'm grateful for my spirit guides and my angels, and for God for working so tirelessly and diligently on my behalf to help me reach this phenomenal breakthrough. And I hope that the way I've described it is clear and helpful to other people. But as always, if you have questions or would like to talk about this further, always feel free to reach out. So thank you, everyone, for following along my journey. I wish you all the very best along your journey as well, and have a wonderful day.